Okay, let's be real for a sec. Are you just, like, over feeling tired all the time?
Yeah, I get it.
Like those gym sessions that used to get you pumped.
Yeah.
Now they feel like a chore.
Right.
You're just not seeing the same results.
Definitely.
And you just feel like you're missing that spark.
Yeah.
That drive you used to have.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've heard about testosterone boosters,
You
right?
say.
But you're smart.
Yeah.
You're not going to just buy into any hype without knowing the facts.
You got to be skeptical.
Exactly. And that's why we're doing this deep dive today on Testosil.
Okay.
It's a natural testosterone supplement that's, well, making some pretty big claims.
Like what?
They're saying their clinically proven extract can boost testosterone, like up to 434% more than exercise alone.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a number that makes you go, hold on, what?
That'll get your attention.
Right. So they're attributing this massive, all doing resistance training, by the way. And the guys taking 300 milligrams of this ashwagandha extract twice a day, they saw a significant jump in their T levels compared to the placebo group.
Interesting.
They even break down the numbers, showing an increase of 18 nanograms per deciliter for the placebo guys.
Okay.
Versus a whopping 96.2 nanograms per deciliter for the ashwagandha group.
Wow.
But, and here's the thing, this is where we need to really think critically.
Yeah.
How much of that boost was actually because of the ashwagandha and not just, them hitting the gym?
Right. That's the big question.
Exactly. And would those same results apply to, everyone?
Yeah.
Regardless of how old they are or their health?
Yeah.
We need to, really dig into the study and see if those numbers hold up under pressure.
For sure.
Because, let's be honest, most guys who are, thinking about boosting their testosterone, they're not trying to be like professional bodybuilders.
Right.
They just want to feel like themselves again,
Yeah.
energized, strong, confident. Testosterone really plays into this by focusing on fatigue, low energy, and unwanted weight gain as those classic testosterone problems.
Sure.
But, and this is important, low T isn't always the only bad guy in this story. Right?
No.
There are other things that can mess with you.
Yeah.
Stress, not getting enough sleep, your overall health. It all plays a part.
It all ties together.
Speaking of which, Testosil really makes a point of comparing their product to testosterone medications and injections.
Okay.
They're emphasizing how expensive those treatments can be and all the potential side effects.
No. And it's true, those medical options can be costly and risky.
Right.
But for someone who's been diagnosed with clinically low testosterone, they can be necessary.
Exactly.
And they can be effective.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're working with a doctor.
Right. That's super important, knowing when those treatments are actually needed versus exploring other ways to deal with it.
Exactly.
Like lifestyle changes, or in this case, natural supplements. But how does Testosil actually stack up as a safe and natural alternative?
Yeah. Is it legit?
Is there really solid scientific evidence backing up their claims?
Mm-hmm.
And are there any potential side effects we should be aware of from what's in Testosil?
Right.
Because it's not just ashwagandha, right?
No.
They're bragging about having 11 testosterone-boosting ingredients in their formula.
11.
11.
Wow.
It's like a supergroup for your hormones.
It's definitely a comprehensive approach.
Right. So the key is, do those ingredients actually work together?
Yeah.
Are the dosages actually effective?
Good questions.
And what does the research really say about each ingredient?
Exactly.
Now, they make a big deal about KSM-66 being the most studied ashwagandha extract out there.
Right.
Backed by over 24 double-blind, placebo-controlled studies.
Mm-hmm.
We need to look at those studies and see what's up. Do they just focus on testosterone? Or are there other potential benefits from KSM-66 that could help with, the root causes of low energy and feeling wiped out?
Interesting.
Okay, here's something that caught my eye. They've got this astrogene in there, which is a patented absorption enhancer.
Mm.
How does that even work? Is there research that shows it's actually effective? And do you see this in a lot of other supplements?
Yeah, we'll definitely look into that.
And of course, there's the big one, the lifetime money-back guarantee. Is it actually as good as it sounds?
It's a bold claim.
We need to check the fine print and see if it's really hassle-free like they say it is.
For sure.
So we can make sure you've got all the info you need to make a smart decision.
Absolutely.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go back to those impressive testosterone boosts that Testosil is, claiming.
Okay.
If we look closely at the study they're using, we see that the participants were, young and healthy guys.
Mm-hmm.
Already doing resistance training. So how much of that testosterone jump can we really say is thanks to Testosil?
Right.
And would those same results happen for someone who's older
Yeah.
or has different health issues?
Yeah,
That's a big question mark.
it is.
And it's also worth mentioning that the study only went for 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Would those effects even last longer than that?
Yeah, good point.
And what about all those other ingredients?
Right.
Do they actually team up to make the ashwagandha work better?
Yeah.
Or is it just a case of too much of a good thing?
That's what we need to figure out.
Right. So we've got a lot to unpack.
Definitely.
We need to look at the research, separate the hype from the facts, and ultimately see if Testosil lives up to the hype.
Sounds good.
And most importantly, we want you to understand what this all means for you.
Right.
Does Testosil actually fit with your goals?
Yeah.
What are the potential benefits and risks you need to think about? We'll dive into all of that in the next part of this deep dive. But for now, take a sec to think about what we've talked about so far.
Okay.
What jumps out at you? Are any of the claims hitting home?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you feeling a little skeptical?
Yeah.
It's all good. We want you to think critically.
Absolutely.
We always encourage you to do your own research, too.
For sure.
Check out the studies we mentioned and explore the benefits and risks yourself.
Good advice.
And remember, there's no magic pill for perfect health.
Yeah.
But knowing what's what, that's power.
Yeah.
Understanding the science behind these products gives you the power to make good choices for your well-being.
I like that.
And speaking of knowledge, we'll be back in the next part of this deep dive to give you even more info so you can make the best decision for your health.
Sounds great. So let's break down what's actually in this Testosil stuff.
Yeah, we're talking like 11 different ingredients they say are all about boosting testosterone.
Right, starting with their big star, the KSM-66 ashwagandha.
They say it's backed by over 24 double-blind, placebo-controlled studies. That's got to mean something, right?
It does lend some credibility to their claims, and those studies actually show some pretty interesting stuff beyond just testosterone. For instance, KSM-66 seems to be good at reducing stress and anxiety.
So it's like tackling that cortisol, the stress hormone that can totally drain your energy and mess with your gains.
Exactly. And there's more. Studies also suggest KSM-66 might help you sleep better, think more clearly, and even boost your athletic performance.
Whoa, that's a pretty stacked resume for one ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
What about the rest of the lineup? We've got fenugreek, ZMA, D-aspartic acid.
Mm-hmm.
It goes on and on.
Fenugreek is a really interesting one. It's often talked about for its potential to help with testosterone production, and at the same time, it might help balance out your estrogen levels.
So it's working double duty, boosting the good stuff and keeping the not-so-good stuff in check.
Exactly. Then we've got ZMA, which is a combo of zinc, magnesium, and vitamin B6. These are key nutrients that play important roles in lots of bodily functions, including testosterone production.
I know zinc is definitely linked to, a guy's reproductive health.
Right. And magnesium can help with things like muscle recovery and sleep, which can indirectly affect testosterone levels. And then you've got vitamin B6, which is involved in regulating hormones.
So ZMA seems like a pretty solid team player. What about D-aspartic acid? I've heard that one thrown around a lot in, the fitness world.
D-aspartic acid is an amino acid, and people think it's involved in making testosterone. Some studies have found that if you take DAA supplements, it can boost testosterone levels for a little while.
Short-term being the key word there.
Yeah, the research on whether DAA has long-term effects on testosterone is still kind of up in the air. And it's worth noting that the increases they see in studies aren't usually that huge.
So we need to keep our expectations realistic. What about the other ingredients on the list? L-arginine, HCl, Panax ginseng, allium sativa, calcium D-pantothenate, and vitamin D3.
They all have these supposed benefits for testosterone production, exercise performance, energy levels, or just overall health. But the scientific evidence isn't super strong for all of them.
Which brings up a good question. Is the amount of each ingredient in Testosil actually in line with what research says is effective?
That's where it gets a little tricky. They say they use scientifically studied doses, but it's not always clear if those doses are actually enough to, make a real difference. Sometimes they might be lower than what they used in clinical trials.
So it's like having an all-star team, but some players might not be playing to their full potential.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. We got to be careful about assuming that just because there's a ton of ingredients, it means the product is automatically going to work.
Right, quality over quantity. Speaking of quality, they really emphasize this estrogen, their fancy absorption enhancer. Is that really a game changer?
It's an interesting addition. It's a blend of astragalus and Panax notoginseng extracts, and they say it helps your body absorb other nutrients better.
Like a secret weapon that helps all the other ingredients do their job.
There are some studies that show estrogen can make certain compounds more bioavailable, but it's not like a universal booster, and it might only work well with certain ingredients.
Hmm. So it's not a guarantee that you're suddenly absorbing 100% of everything in Testosil.
Exactly. We can't just believe the hype. We need to look at the specific evidence.
And speaking of big promises, that lifetime money-back guarantee definitely grabbed my attention. Is it really too good to be true?
Well, it comes with some fine print. To get a full refund, you have to send back all the bottles, even the opened ones, at any time. They'll refund the money you paid for the unopened bottles and one open bottle.
So you can't just try a few pills and then ask for your money back.
Right. But it does give you some peace of mind, especially if you're not sure about spending money on a supplement without knowing if it'll actually work for you.
Okay, so we've talked about the ingredients, the research, and even the money-back guarantee. But what does it all mean for the average guy who wants to boost his testosterone?
That's the big question, right? And there's no easy answer. It really depends on your situation, your health history, and what you're hoping to achieve.
But at least we can give you the info to make a smart decision. So far, we've seen that Testosil does have ingredients that seem to be promising for boosting testosterone and tackling those common issues like feeling tired, low energy, and losing muscle.
True. But we also have to be aware of what the research doesn't tell us. Not all the ingredients have been studied extensively, and the amounts in Testosil might not be the same as what's been proven effective in clinical trials.
And every person reacts to supplements differently. What works great for one guy might not do much for another. It's like those jeans that look fantastic on your body, but just don't fit you the same way.
That's a great analogy. And we can't forget about lifestyle choices, stuff like exercising regularly, eating a healthy diet, managing stress, and getting enough sleep all play a big role in testosterone production.
Right, it's not just about popping a pill, it's about taking a holistic approach to your health.
Exactly. So the best way to think about Testosil is as something that might boost your results if you're already living a healthy lifestyle.
But even then, we gotta think about the price. It's a monthly expense, and even though they have that lifetime money-back guarantee, it has some strings attached.
Which brings us back to you. What do you want to achieve? What are your expectations? Are you willing to spend the money and actually put in the effort to live a healthy life while taking this supplement?
We always tell our listeners to do their own research. Go check out those studies we mentioned and really understand the potential benefits and risks.
And most importantly, talk to your doctor. They can figure out your testosterone levels and help you decide if supplements are a good idea for you. They can also point you in the right direction and tell you what's safe and effective based on your individual needs.
Remember, knowledge is power. The more you know about these products, the better you can decide what's best for your health.
Exactly. We've given you a lot to think about in this deep dive. Now it's time to take what you've learned and decide what's best for you.
Now, shifting gears a little bit, Testosil makes a big deal about how expensive and potentially risky testosterone medications and injections can be.
Yeah, and it's a valid concern. Testosterone replacement therapy can definitely be pricey and might come with risks. But it's really important to remember that those treatments are usually only for people who actually have clinically low testosterone.
It's not something to mess around with or self-diagnose and treat yourself without talking to a doctor.
Exactly. If you're experiencing symptoms of low testosterone, the first thing you should do is talk to your doctor. They can run tests, figure out your hormone levels, and tell you if you need treatment. And they can also help you figure out the best options for you.
And those options could include lifestyle changes, natural supplements, or in some cases, prescription meds.
Right. It's all about finding what works best for your individual needs.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We've gone through the ingredients, looked at the science, checked out their marketing claims, and even discussed other options besides Testosil.
We sure have, but we're not done yet. In the final part of this deep dive, we're going to help you decide if Testosil is the right choice for you.
We'll weigh the pros and cons, factor in the cost, and give you the power to make a well-informed decision about your health and well-being.
But before we move on, we want to hear from you. What are you thinking?
What really stands out to you? What questions do you still have?
Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. But by understanding the science, looking at their claims, and thinking about your own goals, you can make the best choice for you.
Okay, so we've really gone deep into the science behind Testosil, looked at the marketing, and weighed the potential benefits and risks.
Right, now the big question.
Is Testosil the testosterone booster it claims to be?
Yeah, the big one.
Well, it's not a simple yes or no.
Yeah.
Testosil does have a mix of ingredients that, research shows some promise for boosting testosterone and dealing with things like low energy and fatigue.
Yeah.
But we got to be realistic about what to expect.
Right, exactly.
It's not a magic solution. It's not going to instantly rewind the clock.
For sure.
And while some of the research is encouraging, it's not always as clear-cut as we'd like.
Right.
The amounts of the ingredients in Testosil might not be the same as what they used in studies.
Yeah.
And we don't know the long-term effects of some of the ingredients yet.
True.
And, of course, everyone reacts to supplements differently.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for someone else.
Like those jeans that fit your friend perfectly.
Exactly.
But they look totally different on you.
And we can't forget about lifestyle.
Right.
Exercise, a healthy diet, managing stress, getting enough sleep.
Huge.
All of that plays a major role in testosterone production.
It all ties together.
So it's not just about taking a supplement, it's about a holistic approach to your health.
Absolutely. So at best, Testosil might help enhance your results if you're already living a healthy lifestyle.
But even then, you have to think about the cost.
Yeah.
It is a monthly investment.
Right.
And while they have that lifetime money-back guarantee, it comes with some conditions.
Mm-hmm.
We always tell our listeners to do their own research. Take a look at the studies we talked about, see the benefits and risks for yourself.
Yeah, that's important.
And most importantly, talk to your doctor.
Always good advice.
They can check your testosterone levels and help you decide if supplements are right for you.
For sure.
They can also help you find the safest and most effective options, based on your specific needs.
Right.
Knowledge is power.
Right.
It is. The more you know about these products, the better decisions you can make for your health.
Totally.
We've given you a lot to think about in this deep dive.
We have.
Now it's time to use what you've learned and decide what's best for your health journey.
Yeah, take charge.
If you're curious about Testosil and want to know more, you can tap the link below to check out their website.
Mm-hmm.
But before you do, take a minute to really think about everything we've talked about.
Yeah, reflect.
Consider your goals, think about your options, and make a choice that really fits with your overall health and wellness.
Because at the end of the day, the best decisions come from you.
Exactly. Make informed choices for your well-being, and we'll catch you in the next deep dive.